Everybody.
Good. Hey, babe.
Hey, look at all these people here.
Yeah.
I love it.
We're all getting to know each other.
Hey,
Some of-
Stacy.
Some of my favorite people. I love that. How's everybody doing?
Hi.
Not bad.
Hi, Dana, Stacy, Pam, Gail. Okay, Pam, Gail is my husband's mom. The Chrisowatis are my parents.
Okay.
And the rest of these folks are very
They
close.
all know. We've already introduced ourselves.
Yeah, we're
Well,
not
that's
saying
great.
You were so late coming on, we figured we better introduce ourselves and tell them who we are.
Am I late?
No.
Thank you.
Well, it said it opens up at 1:15.
I didn't.
Yes, it did.
No. I'll have to look it up. So my dad and I have a, I don't know. We argue a lot, but we're like, we think a lot alike and everything. So it's really cool.
We don't argue.
Yeah, we do. No, we don't. Yeah, we do. No, we don't.
Hello.
Hey,
Karen.
Karen.
Hi.
I love your hair.
Oh, I do too.
So cute.
Hello, Karen.
Hi, how are you?
So just so everybody knows, we're going to record this and I'm going to go live on my Facebook group, which is a private group. It's a private group for just people who are working with food. Okay. So, and I've never done it before with a Zoom and a Facebook Live. So give me a minute to figure this guy out. Okay.
Pam, what is your last name?
Hohlbein.
C-O-L-E?
It's Hohlbein.
Okay.
We have some friends that are just HOHL.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yep. All right, so it says preparing, so let's see what happens now.
Hey, Karen.
Yeah.
How's George doing?
Oh, better and better every day. We got a cane today, so
Oh, good. Good.
yeah, I picked up one at the store. He looks good. Stacy and Kenny just stopped by to say hello through the front door.
How's his knee feeling?
Feeling pretty good. Yeah.
Okay, we're live here, okay?
Okay.
All right. Welcome everybody. I'm so glad. Hey, Debbie.
Hello.
Have you here? Welcome.
Glad to be here.
Very good. Introducing Pam Hohlbein. I am also going to try to keep track of things. If you want to put something in the chat, feel free. If you want to ask a question, if you're on Facebook and you want to ask a question, go ahead and I'll try to keep track of that myself. I've never done this before, so it should be fun. And yeah, me trying to multitask, right? Anyway, so welcome. We're talking about nutrition today. And my new friend Pam is here with us. We met in another group. I can't remember what it was, but
Was it 40 and Fabulous or? I don't remember.
I am 40 and fabulous, so let's go with that. 40,
and I'm 50 and fabulous, so you know.
Let's say 40 something and fabulous, okay? So we met on some place and I was like, do you do consultations? Because I'd really like to know a little bit more about like maybe what I'm doing right or wrong or how to, I don't know. We had a 45-minute consultation and I made one tweak in my diet because of what we talked about. And then I shared it with my mom and she did the same thing. And I really see a difference in like my sustained energy through the day and things like that. So a couple of things. One, Pam doesn't deal with disease. So if you have a specific health issue that needs dietary changes, you're going to see a dietitian. Is it a dietitian or a nutritionist or either or? I don't know what the difference is.
In Maryland, they more are called registered dietitians.
Okay. Very good. So Pam is in Baltimore area,
Eldersburg. Mhm.
Okay, which is cool. And she also has online consultations, which is fantastic. And she's going to tell you some really cool stuff at the end that she has available for our group. So without any further ado, I would like to introduce Pam.
Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. I am a nutrition coach, like Lori said, and I specialize in ending the yo-yo diet cycle and really helping you have a better relationship with food, because diet culture is ever present, and it makes people feel bad about themselves. The diet culture does. So today's talk is going to be about navigating food shame and the antidote to the diet culture. And so the shame around food is really everywhere. You see it in social media. We talk about it like we give morality to food. We label food as good and bad. And we tell ourselves all the time that we're good or bad for eating certain foods. And so the diet culture mentality tends to, like I said, it gives food morality, and it leads to body hatred, which results in fat shaming and weight stigma. And it really affects everyone around us. So I don't know, you can raise your hand if you all have tried diets in the past. I've tried them all. I have been on both spectrums of eating disorders. I was anorexic, I was bulimic, I emotionally and stress ate. And so I decided that this was a huge topic that women in particular need help in ending that emotional eating, stress eating, and losing that diet mentality. And it's really challenging because we have to reprogram our brain to stop thinking about food in good and bad terms, and to stop thinking that if we fail at a diet, that we're big failures. And that leads to the ever-present negative self-talk, that inner critic. So I help women really kind of elevate our consciousness around what food shame looks like and how to quiet that inner critic, rename her into something more positive, and realize that food is really not inherently good or bad. Food cannot have a morality, right? And I help women develop a better relationship with food and end that yo-yo diet cycle. So why is diet culture a problem? It's really misleading at best, and it's really harmful at the worst. Even if everybody ate the exact same foods, the same amounts, exercised the same way, the same amount of time, we would all still be different in what our bodies look like. I'm 5'7". I am 153 pounds. That looks completely different than someone who's 5'2" and weighs 153 pounds. That also looks different on someone who is 5'7" but has a different body type that weighs 153 pounds. So we have to understand that even if you try a super restrictive diet, you are not going to look like social media. And all these behaviors that people practice in the name of health are really harmful, both physically and mentally. Like, for example, people try to follow a wellness protocol during the day, only to find themselves binging at night because they've restricted their calories too much. And so they binge on forbidden foods. And then we start that whole negative self-talk process. It's a loss of control. It's a natural reaction to food restriction, and it's not a matter of personal willpower. Anybody have any questions so far about this? Okay, so yes, Lori.
I do. You work with men too, don't you? Not just with women.
I don't, but I can, because diet culture is everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just restricted to women. Like, there is a big stigma around boys. and their weight, and they are the less talked about victims of like anorexia. So I can help with men. So diet culture has really become normalized in our society. There are so many diets out there, and they result in failure because that's what the diet industry wants you to do. Because if you fail at that diet, you're going to continue to give them money to continue that diet. And it's causing more harm than good. And it leads us to all this negative self-talk. And it kind of sounds like this. And raise your hand if you've said any of these things to yourself. I was bad today because I ate carbs. I'm being good today, so I can eat dessert. You look great. Have you lost weight? It's a cheat day. I'm too fat. When I lose weight, I'll be happy. When I lose weight, I'll be confident. When I lose weight, I'll love myself. That's all the consequences of the diet culture, all that negative self-talk. So then when we fail at a diet, we go back to all that stuff. I'm not worthy. I am fat. I'm always going to be fat. Nothing's ever going to work for me. So we keep bouncing from one diet to another diet. And in between those diets, we binge and we hate ourselves. And that is truly the most harmful aspect of the diet culture. It's the shame people feel when their body size doesn't conform to social media. And this also leads to adopting strict, restrictive food plans to lose weight. And we all know from research that the pursuit of weight loss most always fails, and that the vast majority of people will gain it back, and more so. And it leads to an endless cycle of shame for yourselves. And while not everyone who diets develops an eating disorder, restricting food for weight loss typically precedes the development of eating disorders such as anorexic, been there, bulimia, been there, binge eating, been there. And although it's not an official disorder in the DSM-5, which is the Diagnostic Statistical Manual for Psychology, there's a term that's called orthoexia, and that refers to people who are overly concerned with eating foods that are deemed healthy. So they obsess about eating healthy, which results in, yes.
So how many of us have that?
Where you become obsessed about eating healthy?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's, if you take a look at the term clean eating, people become obsessed with that term and think that you can never eat anything that's not processed. Like if you go into any group that's labeled clean eating, you will find people saying, you can't eat that because it has this many grams of sugar in it, or you can't eat that because look at that list of ingredients. And that's just not true. And that creates the diet cycle, the yo-yo diet cycle, the shame, the hatred, all that stuff. So any other questions on that so far? I can't see everybody, so if someone raises their hand, let me know.
Debbie, go ahead.
This might not be the right time, but why is clean or healthful eating not beneficial? Why is it okay to have all those ingredients?
That's a really good
can't
question.
Pronounce.
That's a really good question. And while you should eat clean, you should eat healthy, becoming obsessed with the thought that you cannot eat something because it has too many ingredients in it, that's where it becomes a problem. Does that make sense? Okay. Yes.
So that's unless you have some sort of food sensitivity.
Yes, and I'll get into that in a little bit, but absolutely. Yep.
When did you have a question? You're muted.
Now I'm unmuted. Okay. I did have a question. I am living with a person called stepmom who is very, very, as Pam said, she's very clean eating, doesn't eat sugar, doesn't do all that stuff. But every time I stick a piece of sugar in my mouth, particularly a brownie, she looks at me like I'm crazy because, and she looks at her own daughter like she's crazy too, because she doesn't understand that it's okay to have those joys in the life. So again, how do we explain to these people that yes, you should eat clean. Yes, we believe in what you're doing, but let's have a little fun.
You have to have a little fun, right? Does your stepmom, is that who you said, your stepmom?
My stepmom only eats, well, she's allergic to shellfish, but she only eats chicken and fish and salad. And she's done that for the 9 years that I've known her. She's gave up soda, but I won't. If we're out and I order Coke, for example, she'll look at me like I'm crazy because she will say soda is bad for you. And I know that, of course. I know all that. But at the same time, she will say, well, you can't have milk. She will say, well, try to eat cleanly, and I have to give up dairy anyway. I think I'm allergic to it anyway. But I still want to have a little fun and be less, because if you look at me, I have a high metabolism, and due to my cerebral palsy, I'm skinny. So what I put in my body goes directly to maintain cerebral palsy. Me sitting in a chair, I burn 1,000 calories now. And so how can we explain to people, yes, we believe in your philosophy of clean eating. Yes, we want to love you and support you, but you need to have a little fun.
Just say exactly that.
I think that's perfect.
That's perfect. Just say, yeah, it's not super healthy, but every now and then you got to have a little fun.
Every now and then you got to have a little fun. And
yeah, just what you said is perfect. And I would just tell her that and then just say, so how's your dinner?
Yeah, change the subject. I
yeah,
think
and just compliment her on her eating healthy.
Yeah.
Good advice. So I think the other issue is there's shaming with that too.
Absolutely, there is, and that's
and
what
I probably have been guilty of it myself because I'm so careful with what I eat. I know I've been guilty of it with my husband. I'm like, you shouldn't eat that because I mean, so is it? I mean, how do we deal with it when someone else does it? I like what she said. That was great.
So, sorry, my dog has decided to be with me. So it's hard, right? And I do it myself with my kids, but we have to really think about, is this helping or is this hurting? So when we're harassing someone for not eating healthy, that's shaming. And so we need to turn it around and say, yeah, you're right, it's not super healthy, but I just want a little taste of something. And then when we turn around and tell someone who is eating super clean, if we criticize that, that's also kind of shaming a little bit. So we just have to say, so I hope are you enjoying your food? It looks really good. I hope it tastes as good as it looks. Something along those lines, something positive. Because it works both ways, right? Like not eating healthy and eating healthy, all that shaming, it works both ways.
That's a good point.
Does that make sense? Did I answer your question, Wynn?
Oh, yes, you did.
Good. Okay.
Thank you, Wynn, for the question.
All right. So I was just actually going to talk about that. So food shaming occurs whenever we look at what is on other people's plates, whether it's healthy, super healthy, or not so healthy. And that, again, stems from the belief that food has morality, which it doesn't. Food cannot have morality. So the diet culture can be disguised as wellness when that same sense of virtue or morality associated with specific foods or a strict way of eating, which we just talked about with Wynn. So everyone, whether you're eating healthy or not so healthy, we feel under scrutiny all the time about what we're eating. And we just need to turn it around and make it positive for everybody so that we're not shaming healthy people and we're not shaming those who are not eating healthy. So it can also, food shaming can also relate to weight by implying what you're eating is fattening or unhealthy, or you're eating too much, like someone who's eating pizza. I can never eat that much pizza, and are you sure you want to eat that? Things like that. So we need to change that around. Or are you sure you want that second cookie?
I think we have another question. Dad, did you have a question? You're muted.
There we go. I was just thinking that Sue and I, and it's because of Sue, eat very, very healthy. And because of some conditions I had a few years ago. But when we decided, well, when Sue decided that we were going to do it, I said, okay, but I'm going to cheat sometimes. And I don't go crazy, but I cheat. And we both do.
But let's not call it a cheat. It's not a cheat. It's a planned indulgence.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that too.
But I think, don't you think, Pam, if you plan it, it's much better because, like, I have a tendency to, this is my favorite planned indulgence. Most people who know me know I always have one of these nearby. Okay. However, I am very careful with how, because I could sit here and eat the whole thing. In the past, I would have. I got to get it out of the house and finish it up. But if you have a specified amount that you're going to do on your plan, then isn't that a lot easier way to do it, or safer?
It is.
And it doesn't get out of control.
It doesn't get out of control. You are not restricting yourself. But at the same time, if you've had a bad day, a stressful day or whatever, and sometimes you're just going to be like, oh my God, I need chocolate, or I need a brownie, or I need something, then telling yourself, no, I can't have that because it's not on my planned indulgence day, is going to do you more harm than good also. Because then you're going to binge on it anyway. So a lot of times I'll plan my indulgences, but I'll give myself grace. And if I want something at night, I'll ask myself, do I really want it? If I say yes, I allow myself to have a serving, because then I'm not going to think that it's a restricted food and I'm not going to go overboard in a day or two. Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense. Gail, I'm going to unmute you for you, okay? Go ahead.
Yes, I'm having this urge to have Kraft macaroni and cheese. And I know that is such awful food.
But again, you're attaching morality to it by saying it's awful.
It's not a high nutrition food,
It's
right?
It's not a nutrient dense food.
Let me change that language. And So I'm really I haven't gotten it yet, but I keep saying I'm going to. I think it's the commercials. Oh yeah.
And you know what? And sometimes you got to have that Kraft macaroni and cheese, right? So what you can do is pair it with something nutritious, like a big serving of vegetables.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right.
But not eating it every day, right?
No, not eating it every day. No, no. But if you're really craving something, then eat it.
I found for me, if I'm craving something and I try, what I'll do is instead of eating that something, I will try 10 other things to try to fill that craving, and then I'll still eat it.
Mm-hmm.
But if I had eaten that one thing right at the beginning, it would have been fine.
Exactly. That's where the uber restrictive diets make you want to binge, because they tell you that food is bad and that you're bad for eating it. Whereas if you just say food is food and you learn how to eat it mindfully, intentionally, thoroughly enjoy it, you're not going to go overboard, you're not going to binge, and you're going to learn how to listen to your body, and you're going to learn how to know what your body feels good eating. And that's one of the biggest parts that I teach my clients, is learning how to eat mindfully, eat with intention, really taste the food, and really, really listen to your body. Because
I'm sorry.
That's okay. We've become a nation of fast eaters.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't know how to listen to our hunger and fullness cues anymore. We don't know how to taste the food to even see if it's something we really like anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So how many times have we eaten something because it sounds good and we used to like it, and then we eat it and then we're like, that didn't, once we learn how to listen to what our body wants, we're like, yeah, that didn't really taste that good anymore.
I think since we had our meeting, and I never understood what mindfulness or intention meant when it came to like eating food.
Mm-hmm.
But since we had our meeting, I started like stopping and thinking about it while I was eating, and trying to eat slower and actually think about how much I was enjoying it or what it tasted like, and trying to think, is this really what my body wants right now? And I'm going to tell you, in a lot of my meals, I'm eating half as much because of that one little tweak that you gave me.
Mm-hmm.
It's
That's
amazing.
huge. Yeah.
It's very big, because when you're eating slower and you're thinking about it while you're doing it, instead of just mindlessly like watching TV or trying to run out the door or whatever, you actually know when you're full.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Any other questions on that part?
Dana.
Yes. So do you have to, you're saying you have to train yourself to eat slower to recognize when you're full?
Recognize when you're hungry, physically hungry versus emotionally hungry, and to recognize when you're comfortable versus overly full. Because a lot of times we eat so fast, it takes 20 minutes for our brain to get the signal from our stomach that we're full. And we eat so fast in this society that our brain doesn't register that we're full until we're over full. Does that make sense?
Sure, but you said something else, and now I had a question on that, but I forgot what you said. It'll come back to me. But go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, just if it comes back to you, let us know. So
I got it. You said there was 2 ways that we eat.
mindfully and with intention. That's how we need to eat.
Oh, that's how we need to eat, mindfully and with intention,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to
Shoveling food in our mouths. And at the same time, not noticing what the food tastes like because we're busy watching TV or we're on our phone, so we're not paying attention to what we're eating.
Did you say what or why?
What?
What? Okay.
And why also. Like, we also need to know why we're eating. Are we actually hungry? Or is there an emotion that we're trying to fill that we don't want to eat, or we're on our phone, so we're not
Sorry.
That's okay. So there's two kinds of hunger. There's emotional hunger, where we're trying to fill a void in ourselves that we don't want to feel. So we're eating to kind of stuff that emotion back down. And then there's actual physical hunger where our body needs to eat.
So we did have a question from Facebook. Is it okay? So it's okay to eat processed foods?
In moderation. Yeah, I mean, I'm not telling you to go eat Kraft macaroni and cheese every day. Right? But sometimes life gets crazy and we have to have something made quickly. And so sometimes it's okay. And we can't always afford every food that is uber healthy. So we have to learn how to make the best choice available to us.
I think travel is the time that's the hardest.
Travel is the time. So if you're traveling, you need to learn how to make the best choice. Is the best choice eating a huge plate of fried food with no vegetables?
Yes.
No.
Oh.
Is the better choice to order a big salad and then have a piece of fried chicken? Yes. So we just have to learn how to make a better choice while we're still living. Because if we restrict all that, it's going to lead to a binge. Yes.
Dana.
Is there a better order to eat? Like you mentioned, the fried chicken and the salad. So if I want fried chicken, should I eat the fried chicken first and follow it by a salad, which in my mind, the salad pushes everything, gets rid of everything, or does it not matter?
No, you want to eat the vegetables first. You want to fill up on the nutrient-dense foods first, and then eat the fun food. Because then you're going to eat less because you're filled with a salad or a vegetable that's nutrient-dense.
If I got nothing else from here.
I know you're hoping Gwen doesn't watch this.
Oh, he's talking, but he's muted.
I said, you're right. I wouldn't get the fried chicken at all.
Yeah, I like to joke that I'm the nutrition coach that doesn't really talk about food and doesn't really tell you that you shouldn't eat something, which is completely different from any other Fit Pro or Instagram fitness person, because they're going to tell you that you can't eat this and you have to follow this strict meal plan. And we all know that doesn't work.
Do you have a Facebook group or page, Pam?
I do. It is, I'll post it in the comments after the video.
Okay, cool.
Or you can search, Make Friends with Food.
That's an awesome name. Debbie, did you have a question?
Well, it wasn't really a question, and I might have forgotten what I was going to say, but I really appreciate your insight and your viewpoints, because especially the idea of, I don't eat junk. I don't eat a lot of junk at all, or bad food, or whatever you call, not bad food. I can't remember the term you used, but
less nutrient dense.
Okay, yeah, but I like your approach that it's okay sometimes, because I don't care who we are, we always have some time in our life where we want to crave something that's not good for us. Mm-hmm. And I've done exactly what you said. Mm-hmm. And what Lori said.
I'm not gonna lie, I 2 weeks ago ate ice cream every night. And I was okay with it. Now, 5 years ago, I would have beaten myself up. My bulimic tendencies would have reared their ugly head, and I may have somehow found myself in the bathroom getting ready to purge. That whole scenario is 100% why I created Make Friends with Food, my free community, and my Healthy Living Blueprint program. Because too many women out there and men have a terrible relationship with food.
So what kind of program do you have, Pam?
It's a 12-week program where we work on habits, we work on mindset, nutrition, and tweaking small habits.
And then you also have the free Facebook group,
Mm-hmm.
Making Friends with Food. I'm going to tell you, if you don't want to do the 12-week thing, I mean, do the 12-week thing. It's awesome. But if you can't do the 12-week thing, hop on her Facebook group, because I've found some really awesome stuff right there. And do you have something else that you're going to give this group here?
I do. It's an ebook on, I actually just finished it yesterday, on how to curb your cravings.
And I'm going to tell you, it is absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
I'm gonna show you just the first page of it so you can see what she's got for you right there.
And
crush your cravings. Is it wrong to eat this, Pam?
no. Now, I will tell you, if I ate that, the bun would make me not feel good. So I have learned to not eat the bun. And that's another whole thing that is part of the program that my 12-week program is, I teach you how to learn how to listen to your body and figure out what foods affect you and what foods don't.
Yep.
The older I get, and I've gone through menopause, there are foods that I don't tolerate anymore. And I know, Laura, you have issues too, but like I cannot eat plain old sandwich bread anymore. I don't feel good when I eat it. I can't eat potato chips anymore, darn it, because I don't feel good when I eat them.
I feel great when I eat potato chips. Like that's my one. I can't eat any grains. So wheat, corn, rice, any of them, or dairy. And so I am eating potato chips and I'm eating French fries, just FYI. And Chuck just said, Chuck's my husband, he's on Facebook. He said, we just started cutting hamburgers in half and taking it home, which if you do it right at the beginning and push aside, I'm serious, you don't really need a whole hamburger. You'd be surprised. If you eat it intentionally, like if you're thinking about it while you're eating it, you actually get full with it.
The restaurant industry creates portions that can feed 2 to 3 people easily. We don't need that much food. That's, and we eat it because we're eating so quick.
And then you feel like, my mom says, she's got the perfect word for it. You feel like a fat tick at the end.
Yeah. Like you feel like you want somebody to stick a pin in you and pop you, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Do you have more, Pam, for us in your out to talk about?
That was it.
Good. That's awesome. Does anybody else have any questions if they want to ask Pam? Just so you know, I'm going to send you an email this weekend that's going to have a link to that ebook. And what's at the end of that ebook, Pam?
At the end of the ebook is my calendar link for you to sign up for a free goal setting session with me. And then Deborah asked if the 12-week program is a group program or individual. It's mainly individual, but I have been kind of toying with the idea of doing some group coaching. Most of my women that I coach have a lot of emotional ties to food, and so it's a lot of emotional work. So that's why I do mainly one-on-one coaching. But if you have someone that you're okay working with on a group coaching call, I'm okay with that. As long as you are and we can work the schedule.
So if anybody is interested in doing something like that, you let me know. I'll talk to Pam. We'll see what kind of pricing and stuff like that she could get together for a 12-week program for us. And how many people would you need for something like that? Probably 10, right?
5 to 10.
Okay. So you guys, we'll let you know, and I'll give you more information. But do the at the end of the ebook, do that consultation because it is awesome. Dana?
Oh, thank you.
How many men have you coached?
I have not coached any, but I am not opposed to coaching men. I mainly focus on women, but men have a big problem with food also, and they need help.
Yes, we agree.
I'm going to tell you, my dad right here probably is one of the more reasonable people with food. That guy is 77 years old, and he eats super healthy, except when he doesn't, but he exercises like crazy, and he doesn't, if you want to talk to him about it, you guys can talk to him about it too, I'm sure. He just doesn't get stressed out over stuff like that. Like, oh, yep, I'm going to eat whatever right now. It's going to be okay.
Yep.
It's a great attitude. And if only us women could think about food a little bit more like that, it would be
And
so
stop listening to that inner critic voice.
Yeah.
Because that voice tells us all the time that we are fat. We will never lose weight. We're always on a diet. You just ate something wrong. You're a terrible person.
Isn't that
And
crazy?
part of my program is working on that inner critic.
Yeah.
Because even if you lose the weight you want to lose, if you don't love who you are, you're never going to be happy no matter what.
I
So
was a size 4. I was a size 4 for a while. I didn't feel any different about myself than I do right now.
When I was anorexic, I was a size 1, and I'm 5'7", and I did not like myself.
Yeah. I think we have another question, Mom.
Sometimes denying yourself the food that you're really craving creates more stress, and that is worse for you than eating the food.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Stress creates cortisol, which leads to belly fat, which then leads us to do the yo-yo dieting to try and get rid of that, which leads to more stress, which leads to more cortisol. It's a vicious cycle.
Gail, you're muted. I'll unmute you. Hold on. Go.
How long are the sessions?
The coaching sessions. So are you talking about the one that I'm giving away in the book, or the coaching sessions for a group coaching?
Well, both.
So the one for a goal setting session is about an hour. Probably it would be the same for a coaching session. Usually my one-on-ones, we go anywhere from 20 minutes up to an hour, depending on how their week went. So in the 12-week program, we do weekly coaching calls.
Do you have anything other than a 12-week program? Do you have like a la carte program, like where you can meet with someone after their one time and do something like that? I'm sorry, I have a gnat.
That's okay.
Do something like that. Do you have something like that?
No.
Okay. Debbie says, I'm not on Facebook. Do you have any medium other than social media?
So my program is on an app that you download on your phone. The group is really important for accountability and for support. And
that's on Facebook, right?
That's on Facebook, right? The Facebook group. But it's not a 100% requirement.
Any other questions?
Laverne, I see you raising
Laverne.
your hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, is exercise involved in this program?
I don't specifically tell you what to do, but we do talk about movement, and you should move your body 30 minutes every day, doing whatever kind of exercise you love to do. Everybody's different in what they love to exercise, how they love to exercise, just like everybody's different in what they like to eat, what their body type is, and that kind of thing. Now, I will tell you, older women should definitely do some kind of strength training, because we lose muscle mass from our 30s on. And when we build muscle, we burn more calories.
And is that's good for osteo? Or
Yeah, thank you
bone
for that.
issues too?
Mhm.
Yeah, building muscle and doing weight training, anything that causes tension on your muscles, like weight training pulls on your bones because you're building muscle and you're doing that movement. Any kind of that type of exercise, even walking and running and all that stuff, helps prevent osteoporosis, and it also helps prevent, studies are now showing it helps prevent dementia and Alzheimer's, or helps slow it down.
That's
Because you have to,
awesome.
when you exercise, you have to think.
Yeah,
It also increases your blood flow.
very good. Debbie?
I just wanted to get clarification. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
So you either have the Facebook group or the 12-week group, or that's it. I mean,
Yeah.
you have you're giving us the one consultation, which is so lovely, but there's nothing in between.
No. Because
So-
it takes more than, so all those things you see, it takes 21 days to build a habit. That's a bunch of crock. Sorry about the language. It takes way longer to reprogram your brain, to learn how to love yourself, and to learn how to make friends with food.
That actually makes sense. I appreciate you saying that, because I was like, man, I just want one visit.
Mm-mm. Doesn't work that way.
Yeah, that makes sense. Very good. Any other questions before we wrap up? Thank you so much for joining us, Pam.
You're very welcome. Thank you for all the questions.
Yeah.
You guys, that means that you were really listening to me, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, and I'm gonna share your pages and everything with our group. They're all on an email list. So and I'll share your ebook with them there too. So
Awesome.
look out for some folks here doing the consultations with you, Dad.
Yeah, just ask one other question. Are your classes for the senior citizens different than your classes for younger ones?
Mm-mm.
So
Is nutrition different for older ones?
Not really. Like, we all need to eat nutrient-dense food. So it's not real. I mean, I don't work a whole lot with food per se. Like, I'm not going to tell you can't eat that. So basically, what you do is you food journal, and then we talk to you about what you ate that week and how you can make it a little bit better. Now, if you have like a medical issue, then that needs to be, you need to see a registered dietitian for that.
Now, you did tell me that as you get older, you should eat more protein.
Yes, you should eat more protein. A lot of people don't eat enough protein.
Well, you know what? After I met with you, I got an app just to see, because you said I needed more protein, just to see like what's the percentage of protein that I'm eating. Because you said you don't like tracking macros or anything like that.
I don't track calories. I don't track macros.
But I wanted to see like
how to listen to your body.
I wanted to see like how much protein I'm actually getting a day, and it was really low. And I thought I was eating plenty of it. So it's nice to actually figure out how much protein you're getting.
Yeah, I mean, and it all depends on your activity level, your body type. So it's different for each person. So you have to.
And you talk about that in the consultations with people, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's different for everybody.
Yeah, very good. Well, thank you so much for being with us, Pam. I appreciate it. And we look forward to getting a chance to get to know you better on one-on-ones.
Yeah, absolutely.
You.
It was a pleasure to be here.
It was lovely. Thank you.
Mhm.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Have a good
Bye-bye.
Hey, Sister Black.